What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Make It and Break It. My name's Andrew, and we're getting into position today because we're going to start tearing this thing apart. That's right, we're getting the Mazda RX-8 up, and there's just so many spiders around here. Anyway, we're getting Mazda RX-8 torn apart so that we can start measuring for roll cages and getting roll cage material ordered in. Oh, that's a call from my mother. All right, so phone call's done, and we're back here. So what we're gonna do today is we're not gonna do it work in here for the most part. We'll just have to disconnect the battery at some point. But we're gonna start in here. Now, normally, when you're working around this sort of stuff, you wanna disconnect the battery before you do a whole lot of work. But to get the seats out, specifically these front seats, at least this one, I'm gonna need to leave the power on because I'm gonna need to move the seat forward and back to get to the bolts to undo the seat from its mounts. So we're gonna go try that here real quick and report right back. Okay, so we're down here and there's 4 bolts that hold on your front seats, and they're pretty easy to get to. There's 2 bolts on the front, and they're right under here and right under there. They have covers on them. This cover here kind of sits under here, so it kind of sits under that. So if you pop the covers off on the front, there's a bolt under here and then a bolt on the corresponding side underneath. Now on the back side, let's move this. You can see a bolt on the back side of the rail here, and then there's a bolt. There you go. There's a bolt right down here that holds on the rail on this side. So those are the 4 bolts you're going to need to remove your front seat here. And that's the same on both sides. The trick is for using it with power front seats. So on this car, I've never actually sat in the passenger seat, but I do know the driver's seat is powered front seat. Obviously, as you see me moving this back into position. So, what that means is you want to be a little bit careful on how you're pulling this thing apart, because you're going to have to remove or disconnect the power controls for this power movement option at some point. And those power controls, I believe, I'm not a RX-8 guru by any means. Those power controls, I believe, are those connections there, and that might also be the airbag connection, which is from here, the side curtain airbag stuff. So those power controls are here, but you want to connect those basically last. So the idea is you actually want to pull the front bolts first, move the seat forward, all the way forward, pull the back bolts, and then you can disconnect the power seats and all the rest of the stuff and pull the seat out. If you do it the other way around, you're gonna have the seat in this position and be trying to like reach under here and get into the connections. Holy crap. That's terrifying. Where was I? Anyway, if you do it like this and you're in this position, or you'll have to lift up the seat and disconnect it, but while you're kind of like lifting it up and out of the way. So it's smarter to remove the front first, then the back, and then you can pull the seat out, and you'll have much more access to the rest of the stuff in the cabin. So, theoretically, this bottom seat is very easy to remove in the back. And you just have to pull up. Let's see if I can do that. Oh, got 'em. Alright, so with this seat out here, we want to move to removing these back panels for these back seats. Which is kind of interesting, these are two-part seats, but that would make sense to try and get it into this kind of small cave area of the RX-8. So, I think the only two pieces you have to remove is that bolt and that bolt. They both look like they're connected to the bottom here. And then you probably just have to lift it off some like maybe hooks on the back side, and then you should be able to pull it back out. At least that's the plan, and what I hope is going to go. Just in case I forgot, these are 12mm sockets, and the front seats here are 14mm sockets. So, in case you're keeping track, these are the 12 mils, these are the 14 mils. So let's go pull these off real quick. So, take a look, ignore the mess of crap just down here. We got our driver's side seats out. So the process is the same for the passenger side, except in this car and I think most RX-8s with power seats, at least of this vintage RX-8, the passenger seat is not powered. So I'm not going to make you guys watch that again, but we'll get those removed and then start having some more fun pulling apart this car. Now, at this point, when you have your interior bits removed, you're going to want to remove your battery terminal, or actually probably remove the battery if it's going to be sitting here long and go sit it somewhere else to stay on a charger, in order to give the system time to decharge. That's because modern cars... Bloody Mary in a can, not terrible. Modern cars have a lot more airbags around them. In fact, these seats here actually have side impact airbags in them themselves. But these ones have really easy connectors to get to. The stuff that's on like your A-pillars of your car or in your, just went a little bit south of the border, in your front airbags, those connectors are a little bit harder to get to and you have to jostle the airbag a lot more to get to them. So it's much better to have the entire system de-energized so that in case you hit something a little bit weird, you have much less chance of exploding an airbag in your face. Which means you have about 20 minutes to sit down, hang out, and have a Bloody Mary. Alright everybody, it's much later, and as you can see by the giant piles of removed interior bits there, and here, and I think there's even a few hanging out over here, we've made pretty good progress on removing all the interior from our Doritos Locos RX8 project. You can kind of see it's looking much clearer now. Now you see stuff like the soundproofing down there. That's gonna have to go eventually. But we've cleared out a lot of the stuff in here that we need to clear out to properly fit our cage and seats and the rest of our components. So that's pretty exciting. It's getting late, so I think we're gonna cut this video here. And I'm gonna go take a shower so future Mrs. M&B doesn't hate me when I try and go to bed tonight. So thanks for watching, everyone. My name's Andrew. I'm Make and Break It YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Come on back next time. We're gonna be pulling out the rest of the stuff that gets in the way of our cage and maybe trying to start test fitting me so that we can actually build it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.